The last new launch in Tampines has minted almost a millionaire. And in fact, anyone who had bought a big-ish unit in that project, let's say above 1,100, above 1,200 square foot, would have easily made 525,000 profits on average, some of them in just 3 years. Now that kind of profits means don't need to work already, Now it truly was a treasure for many buyers over there, and today things are even more exciting because the next full condo new launch in Tampines is not just any condo, it is a condo with an integrated transport hub. Think of Waterway Point, think of North Point City, think of Woodleigh Mall. This project that's coming up is 2 times bigger than Next. This project that is coming up is not just 2 times bigger than East Village. If you're an Eastsider, you know where East Village is. This is 7 times bigger than East Village. So this project is huge. It's massive. When was the last time you saw a big project in the OCR region that did not make money? Very hard to find. Now this project is called Parktown Residences, and this project is only 50,000 square meters huge, which, as I mentioned, makes it 7 times bigger than East Village, makes it 2 times bigger than Next, makes it 2 times bigger than Woodleigh Residences Mall. You can imagine this project will be the gem of not just Tampines North, it's gonna be the gem of all of Tampines. And if you look at the surrounding area, who's staying there? These are all your BTO homeowners who are sitting on huge profits. These are the very people who will be buying today, or these are the people who will want to upgrade to this project once it's completed down the road. And if you look at this area, Tampines North, you have projects that has MOP'd 2 years ago. Until today, many of them have not sold. Some of the projects in this area has MOP'd just this year, last year. Some of them will be MOPing in another 2 years' time. Some in the western side of Tampines North will MOP in 5 years' time. They just got their keys last year. And if you stay on to watch this video, I'm going to share with you why Parktown Residences definitely will be a BTO upgraders wet dream. When I talk about HDB upgraders, BTO upgraders, schools would be a very important factor to support their upgrading decision, right? Good thing to know is there isn't any good schools yet. It's not branded yet. We only have Angsana Primary School, which is a mere 383 meters walk away. Now that is less than a whole loop of a stadium circle, stadium got lane 1, 2, 3. This is smaller than this lane 1. You get what I mean? End of the day, I'm not throwing shade to Angsana Primary School. I'm just saying that today it's not branded yet, but it's actually in high demand, And think about it. It is surrounded by a bunch of BTO flats that has very young parents who are very demanding, but there is a school that's within 1 kilometer. Alright? What's important to Parktown is not the school zone, but like I said, it is an integrated transport hub. Say it with me, guys. It is called an ITH. What is Parktown exactly integrated with? I want you to imagine Tampines Bus Interchange. On top of Tampines Bus Interchange, you have the MRT station directly. And then I want you to imagine above the MRT station, the Tampines Hawker Centre. Okay, I say all Tampines, but imagine Tampines North. Okay, fine, you don't like Hawker Centre. I give you 1 escalator to go up to the mall, Parktown Residences Mall. And then you realize that I need to send my kids to tuition in the CC. And guess what? The tuition class in the CC is right beside, all connected. And then you're tired. You explore the bus terminal, you explore the MRT station, you explore everything, you're tired. You want to go home. All you do is you walk 1 section away, tap the access card, guess what? You're home. Everything is there. Now that makes this project super special, super exciting. And if you've seen my past video about integrated projects, I shared with you what makes an integrated project tick, what makes it profitable. And then you realize that Parktown has all the qualities of a profitable project. It has the size, it's huge as I mentioned, and with the size, it's going to bring in so many branded brands. It's going to have a lot of footfall. MRT station is connected. It has a lot of things going on for it. But I didn't mention MRT. The only thing maybe 50-50 is the fact that this train station is just the light green line. Because you can see the light green line doesn't go to much places. But eventually it is connected to the green line, the red line, yellow line, purple line, brown line, blue line, all connected already. So eventually it's a good connection to the rest of the main lines, I would say. I've talked about the project surrounding, inside, outside, but let's look how the condo site plan will actually look like. Now it's so massive that they had to cut the project into 2 wings. Alright, so you can see that you have 2 sections, as I mentioned. You've got one main pool here, Park East, and then you've got another lap pool here in the Park West. And then in between, you have like a civic area-ish. If you've been to Tampines Hub, you can imagine that exact walkway in the middle whereby people will have your functions, your events there. This feels exactly the same, but It's massive. It's as good as 2 condos in one place. And then you have a huge tennis court. In fact, you have this multi-purpose court as well. You've got an island within a condo. You've got a very nice pool-ish here. And if you ask me to choose which section would be the best, maybe somewhere here. You've got the main pool here. Any units that's facing the main pool would be premium price. And then the least premium price would be Park West section, because clearly this is west, as you can see here. This will be having direct afternoon sun coming in. At the same time, you're also facing other HDB flats. As you can see, it's surrounded by HDB. Up front here, we do not know what's going on yet. Now, that's how the project looks like. And I want to compare this with how the recently fully sold tenant EC just next door, how it looks like. And then I'm going to show you Aurel, how it looks like. So, you've seen this. In my opinion, Parktown definitely blows the competition away. Developer knows that they've got the size. And then what other project was so big recently? Treasures. Back then, people were so worried about having 2,200 neighbors. But eventually, by the time it completed, we saw the finish, we saw the facilities. It does look like Treasures and the developer got it right. And Parktown Residences looks like they're on the same path. In fact, this looks just as big, massive, but they're just making it more open, more resort-ish. In my opinion, Treasures Tampines a little bit too many lanes here and there, but this looks very resort, very open. I'm just repeating myself, right? And then earlier I mentioned Tenant, which is today, it's fully sold. And then Aurel is coming up. And guys, if you can somehow afford Aurel, despite the tight loan approval, despite all the restrictions going on, the income ceiling and all that, if you can go for Aurel, double down, make it work. Because this is a project whereby you don't actually have to sell your HDB before you buy a condo. It's an EC, by the way. And you don't have to pay an ABSD if you don't sell your HDB before buying. Just as there are many restrictions to buying an EC, there are some benefits as well. In any case, I'll do a separate video about it soon. Wait out for it, okay? So, Parktown Residences, without a doubt, is the 2025 blockbuster launch of the year. Now, let me pull out some news clippings from a few months ago. Okay, this was how much Norwood Grand in Woodlands was sold for. You want to know how much the developers bought the land in Woodlands for this project? The developer of Parktown Residences, they got this project for 884 per square foot per plot ratio. If you are wondering what is this PSF PPR that you sometimes see on the news and have no idea what it is about, it basically means that if a developer buys a plot of land for, let's say, 10 million, and then government says that you can build no more than 100,000 square foot of property on it. Doesn't matter whether you make one huge house or 100 small houses, the maximum you can build up is 100,000 square foot. The PSF per plot ratio would be $10 million divided by 100,000 square foot that you can build. The PSF per plot ratio comes up to $100, PSF PPR. Now this means the developer is paying $100 for every square footage that they allow to build. That is their raw cost, alright? Then we also have to add on costs such as construction, such as land financing. You got to pay the lawyers, you got to pay taxes, you got to pay agent fees. These are all expenses, okay? And then we add on another 8% to a recent change in the harmonization rules that affects the break-even cost of the developer. And the developers of Parktown Residences are CapitaLand, UOL, and Singapore Land Group. It's such a big project that it requires 3 huge players to collectively come together, alright? So you don't have just one reputable developer that partners up with a smaller one, you've got 3 huge ones coming together, okay? So their break-even today would be around 1,700 PSF PPR, plus of course. Obviously, they're not here to do charity work. These are all huge, big names in Singapore real estate, and they have to be profitable. So, in most projects, recently, historically, they're selling for 10 to 15% profits. All across, doesn't matter which developer, that's around how much profit they make, using the same calculations we have earlier. So let's levy some form of margins on top of that break even. We talk about 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%. That's how much per square foot we're expecting based on this profit margins. Alright, I'm going to show you the floor plans and the corresponding sizes, and based on 2,200 PSF, how much it's going to cost. But before I show you the floor plan, in fact, I want you to do some market research so that you know whether these units are overpriced or not. So we go to Treasures, one of the youngest project in Tampines right now. How much can you get a 2-bedroom for today? So this is a live search using the PropNex app. This is public data. In fact, you can just check it out on URA website. As you can see, the prices are going for an average of 1.1 mil up to 1.25. And you can see most of the units have already crossed the 1.2 mil range for a 2-bedroom. And then we go to a 3-bedroom unit, which is an average of 1.6 mil to 1.88. And again, you can see that it's an average, it's not average, it's going, quite a number of units already crossed the 1.7 mil. So 1.8 is going to be the norm moving forward for Treasures in Tampines. Let's look at a 4-bedroom in Treasures at Tampines. 2.1, almost 2.2 mil on average to 2.2, 2.4. Okay, and you can see most of the units have crossed 2.3 mil in fact. That means, a matter of time, this 4-bedder in Treasures at Tampines is going to breach 2.5 mil for a 4-bedroom. And how old is Treasure Tampines? Just completed 2023. One more project, actually 2 more projects, okay? First is Tapestry. Tapestry is the next youngest project in all of Tampines, and this time I'm just going to go straight to the 3-bedder. Look at the price. Average of 1.7 up to 1.09 mil, and quite a number of units have already breached the 1.8 mil prices. How old is this? 2021. Now, those would be the youngest projects in Tampines. You can see the prices. What about the closest project to Parktown Residences? Of course, we do have projects in Pasir Ris, but today I don't want to compare Pasir Ris. I want to compare Tampines only. TOP in 2016. Now, that makes it 9 years old, guys. 9 years old, a project used to be an EC. Today, 3-bedders are going for an average of 1.7 to 1.75 mil. And then a 4-bedder would be going for an average of 2.06 mil up to 2.25 mil. Okay, so those are the resale prices in and around of Tampines. Think about it. 1.7 mil for a 3-bedder, that's almost 10 years old today, and these are the prices that we're talking about in potentially. So today, guys, if you can get a unit within the developer's 10 to 15% margins, I think you're in for a sweet deal. Anything above 20%, 25%, maybe I'll wait. But wait also how long, right? Okay, if I'm you, don't wait too long lah. Because the next new launch in Tampines after Parktown, don't worry guys, I'm going to talk about the floor plan after this. Sorry, I'm coming back to that. The next new launch after Parktown is going to come very, very soon, in the next 1.5 to 2 years. And if you remember what was previously the hill beside Safra Tampines, it's going to be another mixed development. Very comparable to Parktown Residences, but it's not an integrated transport hub. That plot of land has been sold on a PSF PPR higher than Parktown, higher land cost. So you know that it's not going to be any cheaper than Parktown. Unfortunately, it is not as big. It is a much smaller plot, almost half the size. But what's not too small is the Parktown Residences floor plans. Now it's time to jump in. Alright, boom. 1066 square feet. We're using 2.2 PSF. It's going to be around 2.3 mil. Layout is very clean. There's nothing to complain here. Okay, you enter the unit, you've got your kitchen, you've got yard, you've got a bomb shelter, helper's room, whatever you want to do it with it. You've got a helper's toilet here also. And then you have 2 toilets here, and then you look at the bedrooms, it's all very decent size. There's no aircon latch in front. That means it's all going to be full length window lah. And then you look at the balcony, it's decent size. You can actually push your dining table out in the balcony. That gives you a bit more space in the living area. Nothing wrong with this layout, in fact. 1066 square feet, very nice. If only it was a landscape layout instead of a portrait layout, huh? And then here you have some compact 3-bedder. Alright, this was a premium layout. This is a compact unit. 2.03 mil, 2002 PSF. Alright, 300k cheaper potentially, yeah. And you enter. What you don't have is a bomb shelter. What you don't have is a yard, but you do have a full-blown kitchen, 3 bedrooms, dumbbell layout concept. But here, as I mentioned, you do have the aircon latch in front. Aircon latch is not at the back, okay, because potentially there's another unit here, there's probably the lift lobby here, something like that. So you will have maybe half window only the master room, you get full length window, okay. And then we go into the 2-bedder, 2 plus study layout at 2.2 PSF. Alright, it is, ignore the numbers here, it's wrong actually. This 1.68 is for this layout. You enter, there's a study room, alright, kitchen is there, enclosed kitchen, and then you enclosable kitchen. Okay, no window in the kitchen. Alright, but otherwise, it's decent. Okay, you've got good sized bedrooms, you've got a good sized living room balcony here, and then you go to a compact 2-bedder without a storeroom. It's gonna potentially go for 1.5 mil, again based on 2200 PSF. So price, think about it, it's very reasonable. This is a layout where I find myself questioning. It's the same as the 3-bedder layout, the 3 plus study layout of 1066 square feet. But the difference here is, yeah, you get the study here, and then you have some privacy in the entrance here. That's it. And then 200k higher than the previous layout. So this one, I'm not sure about the viability of this layout. And then the final one I want to talk about is the 4-bedder. Again, you saw how the new projects, the resale projects are already at 2.4 mil for a 4-bedder, right? Here, going at 2.8. It does look, that's a decent gap to have. But when you think about it, down the road, when you want to sell, I mentioned earlier, we're going to be selling to HDB upgraders, right? BTO upgraders. You would expect to sell to them at around 3.5. Then I question the affordability of a typical HDB upgrader. How many of HDB upgraders can afford 3.5 mil today outright? Not in my experience. Maybe I'm not meeting the right people. But otherwise, yeah, that's my concern for 4-bedder entry price. Okay, but I think the rest of the layouts, 2-bedder, 3-bedder, is very, very nice. So again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I did share who will be buying from you in the future, and I do feel that the BTO surrounding the project is a foolproof exit strategy. And this is a strategy that has been proven many times over in the past decade. The price comparison to the nearby projects, we've covered it. The quality of the project, the layout, the future projects that we're supporting the prices to, we have covered it. So what I've shared with you are frameworks that we can use to identify whether a project is desirable, whether a project is fairly priced, whether it's overpriced, underpriced, alright? And whether the project has the right ethos overall for either an investment or an own stay purchase. We'll be using this format over and over again in future reviews. If you want me to use this in a resale project, do let me know in the comments. Now, if you are interested in checking out Parktown or Aurel, or by extension, we've got good deals going up in the Lentor area due to an oversupply there. Hit me up, alright? Check out Hero Homes SG. I'll be happy to meet up with you. My team will be able to assist you with your options and see whether Parktown Residences is the right project, and whether, or rather, what are the ideal resale projects that are good alternatives based on your budget, based on your needs. Not everyone wants to sell their HDB, their condo, wait for 3 years before they collect the key to Parktown. Alright? And with that, it's been a very, very wet week this week. Stay safe, stay dry. Till the next video, I'm Haikal. Bye-bye.